Okay. All right, so here we are. Shooter in the stash.
We have returned.
Hey, everybody. Did you watch Hard Knocks?
Hey, diddly do. We did. How about you?
Whoa, that's a very Q's and C's type rhyme there.
Well, you know, we got to break it down for the huddle right before we go out there on the field. You know what I mean?
Yes, you do. So, episode 4, the Hard Knocks recap.
Quattro.
Who out there watched it? I'm looking for questions on Facebook Live.
Yeah, we are.
I don't know what would you what kind of question would you
What
ask?
kind of question would you ask about
I guess
Hard Knocks?
if you didn't see it, what happened?
Yeah,
Would be an acceptable one.
I suppose. I guess that'd be acceptable.
So I wanted to start this, but I can't start it with music. But I want to start with some music tonight. Mark Zuckerberg won't let us. He'll shut us down if
he
we
will,
do.
because he's so friendly.
I don't think it's his fault. I think it's the people that claim the music. But if we could start this episode, we'd start it just like Hard Knocks.
Would we?
This is how we do it.
Do.
Yes, that was a good beginning.
That was great. That was great.
They started with them in practice, and that song's playing, and just everybody's just getting down.
Everybody. How could you not?
Jameis is...
GMC said it best. You can't feel mad or upset or depressed whenever that song comes on. You can only feel lit, live, happy, joyous, ready to do the damn thing, whatever.
Yeah, nobody was really practicing, though. Everyone was just dancing. They look like they're having a good time, though.
Well, yeah, we'll find out when they weren't having such a good time a little bit later in the recap.
Yes.
That's called foreshadowing. Obvious or not. So.
All right, so start off with that. And, of course, they went straight to Baker, too. So that was pretty sweet. He started dancing. Back to our guy Baker.
Yeah, for sure. That's, I think, for the major comic relief, as we specialize in, or at least we tell ourselves we specialize in. Yeah, man, Chris Baker's the guy that really helps carry that show, for sure.
Yeah. And then they jumped into the new locker room.
Yeah.
Which was pretty sweet. It looks like they must have had a really old locker room.
Yeah.
Because later on in the episode, they show the players' reactions as they're going into the new locker room, and they're all like, "Oh, this is amazing!
Yeah.
It looks so much better than the old one. We got seats with
cushions.
Cushions. We got cushions."
But GMC said 8 years of playing in the high school locker room.
Yeah. And I was thinking it couldn't have been that bad. I wanted to say, if anyone has pictures of the old.
Well, I mean, we just got to go back and watch the first couple of weeks. It's something that we didn't really think about to take note of during the time, but we just go back and watch week 1 and week 2, and we'll know what the locker room was like, because it was a lot closer, and they were sitting on like regular like folding chairs, like card chairs, that's got like not the real cushion, but it's like the metal chair that's got like a pad, but not a cushion.
Still counts as a cushion though.
I don't know. It's a pad, not a cushion.
The new chair's big cushions.
Cushy, exactly. Yeah. That's a real fat cush.
Yeah,
So, kush for the tush is what I like to call them. Tush kush, if you will. Tush kush. It's more.
You should
patent that.
Yeah,
they better get on it.
Sign that one up. All right, so then they went back to practice, and they showed McCoy picking that girl out of the practice stand. Which I already saw. I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah.
And Twitter and
slacking there.
Pretty much everything.
Slacking there, HBO. Slacking.
So great job by the kid, and
Yeah, good job by GMC.
He really seems to care about the community.
He does.
GMC.
He does.
Yeah. So thumbs up to him dancing with the little girls.
2 thumbs up. Big guy.
Then they went into Chris Godwin. The story of rookie wide receiver Chris Godwin.
Well, they kind of went into the story of a few rookies, but specifically Godwin to begin with, right? Yeah.
I like
kind of broke down the rookies of the season right now.
Well, they set up the whole episode where it was like they highlighted 3 or 4 players, and then they kind of showed how they did in the preseason game.
Right.
The 3rd game. So that was pretty cool.
Right.
So Chris Godwin was the first one, and they showed him with his jacked girlfriend working out.
Yes.
She was lifting more weights than he was.
Yeah, her form was definitely, her form was on point. Seems like a cool chick.
You noted the form.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, she seems like a keeper as far as their 5 years, and she pushes him, he pushes her. That's cool, man. Like, the guy looks like he's in not just football shape, but in like good,
he's in pretty good shape.
Overall shape. Yeah, like that guy could probably go and compete hard in some CrossFit, and be in the top there. So
well, he's in the NFL.
So well, I know, but I mean, a lot of guys could, but then CrossFit specifically trains a lot more different things than most. Like he was even saying in the episode, she helps him train on things more than just going and lifting, like most football players do, just to get big and just get big. She's helping him do exercises that were more about stabilizer, fast reaction. Some of the things he was doing as a receiver, that's stuff like being able to bring your hands up through contact of a defender. You know what I mean? And those
that's why Chris Godwin's so good.
Right, and those are just some of the exercises.
Girlfriend/trainer.
Yeah. Right, that's cool. So, that being said, I think it was a good highlight on him, and I think so far he's performed really well. And I think there's probably going to be a spot for him with, I mean, I'm not saying Evans and Jackson injury prone, but there's definitely going to be some time that they're going to need some rest here.
Well, they showed Cutter talking to him in practice, and Cutter said, "You're going to be playing a lot.
Yeah,
be ready."
On special teams and as wide receivers, so he's going to be there. I think when it comes.
And he looked good. He looked good in practice. He was getting rave reviews from everyone. Like he didn't have like a bad scene, really.
No,
like a lot of the players that they highlighted, they'd show kind of some good stuff with all of them, but then they'd show some bad stuff with him. And even like I said later on, they go into the game and kind of highlight him. Some other players that we'll talk about, but Godwin was definitely one of the guys that just didn't mess up.
Pretty much all positive, right. Unlike number 33, Joe McNichols.
McNichols was another
the
player.
Running back rookie that's probably not going to make the roster.
It sounded like he's struggling.
Yeah.
And he struggled in the game too, so I was surprised.
Well, a lot of things they talked about early in the postseason or the preseason was he's running pretty good in practice, but he's missing a lot of his assignments in the backfield when it comes to the passing game. And pretty much anybody that's ever watched football is going to tell you if you can't pass block as a running back, you're not playing in the NFL. And he's not pass blocking at all right now. And he's missing holes. He's missed a couple of holes too, few cutbacks that I saw in the first few weeks. So
they showed him in the game too. Miss a block,
right?
And Fitzpatrick went down, so they weren't very happy about that. But I don't know if he fits on the roster. They've got Martin, who's going to be suspended. They've got Sims.
And they got Barber, who's basically was doing what McNichols was doing last year. He even told. Maybe that one point when they were showing the recap, Payne Barber went up to McNichols on the sideline saying, "Hey, I did the same thing last season. You just got to remember we talked about this." But that's also the kind of thing with McNichols that I kind of think is a bit of a knock right now is that, and that's the kind of stuff you work on. You got to know, especially as a rookie running back, that's how you make the team. Those are the things you got to work on. How you run the ball, miss a hole here, that kind of thing. They're going to give you more reps. You're going to learn that. It's the pass blocking and the protection. That if you're not doing that, you're not going to continue to get the reps if you're not picking that up. Because most of that stuff is classroom stuff. Learning the playbook, being able to read the defense, seeing where they're coming from, understanding the language of the quarterback when he's trying to check down or not check down, but call out assignments and whatnot. Where the mic is, where the hot guy is, hot routes, this and that, where the pressure's coming from. You got to be able to know that before you can really be able to run the ball as a running back in the NFL.
And who else struggled?
Yeah,
Joe Dirt.
Our guy.
I don't even think they referenced him as Joe Dirt
Not this episode. Not this episode. I think he poo-pooed on it enough that he was like, don't do it.
Over. Well, plus it was kind of a sad episode because everyone was they weren't really dogging him because, he gets his praise that he gets all the work done. He's just not...
He's not making plays yet on the field in game time and a little bit in practice too, just not quite making the plays. But he calls himself out on it too, so that's what I like about him. I think he's a kid that's going to, as an undrafted rookie, free agent, middle linebacker in this league, it's really hard to make that squad the first time. Right. Because again, it's almost just like running back. You got to know your assignments, you got to know your playbook, you got to know whenever you're bringing pressure, what the quarterback's going to do to counteract that. So then you can counteract the quarterback. It's the whole game of chess, and that you don't really learn that in college. That's just experience in the NFL. So I think he's definitely going to find a nice, secure spot on the practice squad.
Right.
But he's still probably 2 years away from making a 53-man roster, I would say.
Okay, well, we found out something that he might, if he doesn't make the team, maybe he just leaves football, because we found out that he's rich.
Well, his family, his dad evidently sold his shopping mall, I'm sorry, outlet mall empire for $30 million back in the late 90s or something, or like early 2000s, something like that. So
yeah. Joe Dirt's got some money, so maybe he won't even play on the practice squad. Yeah. I bet he will.
Yeah. So
he doesn't need the money.
Shout out to Drew for sharing our video on Facebook. That's cool. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow us online.
Yeah, that's true.
And other social outlets.
We also got our URLs coming soon for our Facebook or our YouTube channel. We finally got our 100 subscribers.
No, we got it.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/C/shooter-in-the-stash.
Oh.
I don't know why they make you do the little C in there.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like, that seems unnecessary. But we got it. Hopefully that's not the China address. Like you only
get it's like video games. You got to level up. At 100 subscribers, you get China. At 200 subscribers, you get Beijing.
There's a lot of people in China,
including China. Like, you don't get China with Beijing. You just get the rest of China except for Beijing.
Yeah.
Then
you have to
at 200 you get Beijing. Right. Right. At 200 you get Beijing. Then at 300 you get like Southeast Asia minus Japan. And you got to wait till 500 to get Japan.
You've thought about this way too much.
No, I literally just came up with that off the top of my head right now. That's sad. That's what's sad about it.
That's all right. So, what was your favorite act in the rookie talent show?
I don't know. I thought it was good. OJ off the rip with a little bit of Jameis Winston was good. Yeah. I like to see Chris Baker get ribbed and then take it dropped a few F-bombs too, flipped a few birds, but still took it like a man, took it on the chin. Yeah. Laughed along with everybody else.
It seems like they really went after him, though.
Yeah.
Well, there were two. There was one where there was a bunch of them acting out a scene. One of them was him with like a pillow stuffed in it.
Yeah. Are you going to play it there? No, man. Yeah. But then also the
countdown, the ugliest football players.
Yeah. That was good.
And Baker was number one.
Yeah.
That was funny. Who the first one, number 5? Do you remember who that was?
Defensive teams coach.
Oh yeah,
Did the defensive special teams coach one of the defensive assistant coaches.
Joe Dirt was acting. Did a pretty good job. Yeah. Not surprised he was up there doing something. Yeah. I think they all had to participate.
Right. Yeah. All the rookies are required to do something. It's kind of fun though. It reminds me of when I was in marching band in high school. We had like our annual banquet. We all. Not everyone in the band, but a good portion of everybody got together and did a little impromptu show, kind of like that, like a showcase, if you will. And it was all like satire, doing skits and making fun of the band director and other people in the band, other teachers we all knew. It was fun. So,
okay,
that's a cool thing. It definitely brings a lot of camaraderie to the group. So,
right. So, another player that they talked about was Cameron Lynch.
Yes.
A defensive end. And he was on Hard Knocks and got cut last year.
Right.
So hopefully he doesn't get cut this year, but I had never even heard of the guy before.
I hadn't either, but it seems like as a third year undrafted rookie it seemed like he had a lot more ability to be around the ball, make a few plays while he was on the field.
He did pretty good in the preseason game.
Yes.
I remember. So
yeah.
Joe Dirt, did not. Mm-mm. He let up that huge play at the end where they scored a touchdown.
Yep.
So Cameron Lynch, though, also found love.
That's right.
Between Hard Knocks.
He did.
So it's good that all these players that are going to get cut at least, found themselves some women.
They got a lady to go home to.
Speaking of women, segue to Jameis Winston's girl featured.
Yeah.
they're playing basketball.
Yeah.
Not real basketball.
Nerf ball.
Is that what you call that? It's like the video game table.
Oh no, you're right. They were doing Nerf balls. They were doing the arcade basketball. Yeah.
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 Got a fun little game room there.
Indeed, he does.
So yeah, a lot of relationships in this episode. But those poor rookies. I wonder. Hopefully, their girls don't leave them. No, I don't think Godwin's getting cut.
No, Godwin I think is safe. But yeah. I think pretty much all the rest of those undrafted rookies they feature are going to be practice squad guys.
It's going to be...
Well, Cameron Lynch's the third-year guy. I think he'll probably make his special teams as a, deep, yeah.
I don't know. As a defensive end on this team, that might be tough. Because they've got Jaquez Smith.
Yeah.
Still.
There's definitely some depth, but, we'll see. We'll see. One more episode to find out.
Another person that they featured or player was Bobo Wilson.
Yeah.
And he's
the kind of guy I don't like as a player, honestly. He's the kind of guy I grew up
playing
with. Rubbed you
the wrong way?
Well, he's the kind of guy I grew up playing with in the Panhandle, and I just don't like guys that think that they do everything perfectly right all the time. There's no room for error. They don't ever mess up. Even asked they're doing film, and the coach asks him what cover is this. He answered the wrong reason immediately, or the wrong answer immediately. And then after the third try, he finally got the right answer. And then he's like, "See, I know my shit, coach." And then the coach called him out. I was like, "No, man, you don't know your shit. It took you 3 times to get the right answer. That's not right. You were wrong, And even in the preseason game, he basically didn't get targeted whatsoever, but he made one decent block.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes up to the guy, "Oh, no, that's all because of my block. That's all because of my block, man. That's all because of my block." And,
yeah.
Come on, man. No, shut up. Shut up. All you did was block. You're supposed to do that. That's not something you go up and deserve credit for or accolades for or anything else like that. That's your job as a wide receiver is to block the cornerback whenever there's a run play on the edge. That's your job. You did your job.
Yeah, I didn't mind that as much as you shouldn't fight with your coaches and bicker back.
Right. Well, that's the other thing. And then the coach tried to give him some advice. And he's like, man, he told the other assistant, "Oh, I don't even listen to that. It doesn't even faze me. It doesn't hurt me." You need to listen because you were wrong and your coach is trying to coach you up. You got to listen. Bobo. I'm telling you, man, it's the kind of kids I grew up playing with. I couldn't stand it.
So we'll see if he makes the team.
I doubt it.
We'll know by next
There's zero chance. There's zero chance Bobo makes the team.
Probably right. It's crowded at wide receiver.
It's deep. Yeah. It's deep. In the receiver position in general, whether it be wide receiver or tight end, it's deep.
The one thing that one of the things I really liked was where it was kind of weird. They showed the players watching TV, and they were watching like a segment on ESPN where they were talking about who's better, Winston or Newton, or who would you draft first in fantasy?
In fantasy, yeah, it's fantasy.
And some of the players looked like they were in like an office almost.
It was weird. I think that was in the transition before they were in the new locker room. I think that happened before they were in the new locker room.
But they were in full uniform.
Right. They're in like some kind of cafeteria, it looked like to me.
So I'm just thinking, do all players watch ESPN shows in full uniform?
Well, I think they were getting ready to go out to practice or something, and they were all... It didn't show little, it's a good show, but it doesn't always have a lot of context of where they're taking these clips from, what time of the week, what part of the day.
It's just funny because it looks like they're in an office with uniforms on, watching TV.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny, though.
But what I liked about that, though, is that the one analyst picked Cam, and all his guys Jameis's guys were getting pissed. And James is like, "Hey, man, I respect and look up to Cam. He's been in the league a while. He's already won an MVP. Like, that's the guy you got to respect, And I thought that was good from the players to back their guy, and for the captain to be, humble and understand that there's a lot for him to learn in this league. That, no matter how good you think you are, there's still people that have been better or been there before you. Not that you can't achieve that in your career or even exceed that, but there's always guys that, and when you're young, like he is, there's always guys to look up to and learn from. So I like to see that. Again, that goes back to the theme we kind of talked about last week of Jameis's leadership and how much that's really been evident on the show, and I really like it.
Yeah, they showed him giving some tips and motivating Dante Dye,
mm-hmm.
who was another player that they featured kind of the whole episode.
Yes. Who is a bit of a beast, to be honest. I think, like,
he looks
the way
good
he works.
Practice.
Yeah.
Everybody liked him.
Yeah.
They were talking.
I mean, he doesn't know what cicadas are when they come around, or even eclipses, but
he's the eclipse guy.
The kid knows football, it looks like, and he knows how to catch the ball. The kid has got some good hands. He had a couple of really, really good catches in this last game where he kind of had to use his hands. He had good body position, but the ball was put in there by Jameis, and he made the catch with his hands, and that's something you got to see, you got to like,
right.
Because even as much like Evans, he still has problems dropping the ball.
We'll see if he makes the team though, because that we just talked about that wide receiver spot.
Whoa, controversial. Kenny sitting here saying he hopes Bulla gets cut.
Oh man,
and it's Bulla, not Bullock. Just so you know, it's Bulla.
Kenny, why are you hating Bulla?
UGH Bulla. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, we paused. We got a little lag, but
Jared Matthews says, I hope he gets cut if the coaches think he can't play, and they definitely think he can't play. So.
Well, that's the only thing he can make plays. That's one of the things that they're.
Well, they say he's too slow. Basically, he's just not athletic enough.
Well, I don't know how much that's athletic and how much that is him just being half a second slow on his recognition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the guy is able to see and define what's going on. He's just a little bit slow to get there and react, and that just comes with a little bit of experience and time,
Yeah.
And if he gets on the practice squad and he starts practicing against this offense that the Bucs have, it's going to help him excel pretty quickly, I think. So,
right. We saw another Q's and C's.
We did see another Q's and C's left by Sefu.
Yeah, and he
told
a little snafu.
It pretty much looked like he did on the field.
Did he even play?
I didn't see the end of.
I didn't watch the second half.
Well, the game before that, I saw him play, and the week 2 game.
Well, yeah, and his pregame speeches with the centers.
Yeah, it was good until he flubbed.
Yeah, you can't mess it up
until he flubbed. Yeah, especially on the last line.
He probably didn't have an ending.
Right. That was supposed to be. It seemed like that. It seemed like he was wrapping it up, and that was going to be the last line. I don't know, but
another. So I think that's all the players that we saw highlighted, right? So
I think so.
It was Bobo Wilson, who you hate.
I mean, I don't hate him. I just don't like that type of player.
He seems to have a bad attitude.
Talk about what I didn't like is they're like, oh, we've got a chip on his shoulder. No, that's not a chip on his shoulder. That's a shitty attitude. That's what that is.
Maybe. He seemed pretty quick. Dante Dye was looking good. Cameron Lynch and Chris Godwin and, of course, Joe Dirt, who will probably be your starting middle linebacker on the practice squad. So it's a good guy to have.
Yeah, man.
What else did you have from this episode that were key takeaways? Like, there's keys to the game.
Keys to the game.
We need some keys takeaways of the episode.
Overall, I like the overall attitude of the coaching staff and the players right now.
I agree with that.
They made some mistakes and they came out a little limp in this last game, but the coaching staff staying positive while still keeping them accountable for what they're doing. And I think that's very important for a team of this age and this structure right now. And I feel like the guys are all responding too, especially the stars and the starters are really responding to Cutter and his way of coaching.
Oh yeah, he's in your face too.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy I like.
If you make a mistake,
there's no bullshit.
Hear it
There's no bullshit.
Your head coach,
and all the coaches too. And that's what I like about it too. You're gonna hear all the way up from your position coach. You're gonna hear all the way, even like the assistant position coaches, or like the assistant to the assistant, the ball boy, who they still call an offensive assistant.
Did they show the ball boy?
I think that's the one guy that Bobo was venting because they put his name and said offensive assistant, but he was sitting there like he's basically a ball boy. Yeah, he's probably like some kind of like water. I don't know. Anyways,
I don't
want to degrade anybody on the show because they're all doing what they do and that's cool. But I just thought it was funny that
they even showed Cutter kind of getting mad at Jameis.
Yeah.
For
a few times
for being a smart.
Oh, that was early on, but yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing with the coaches was Mike Smith just seems like he's crazy.
He's the kind of defensive coordinator I like.
Seems cool,
but then he just starts getting that laugh when shit doesn't go. He's like,
and they showed him at the end of the Browns game, like just kind of snap at the end where he just starts laughing.
He starts just laughing uncontrollably, and then the assistant comes and drops the defensive stats down for him. He just cripples it right away. Like, don't let me see this shit. Why are you showing me this shit?
Yeah. So. I don't know. He's a good coach to have too, I guess. You gotta have a little crazy in your coach.
I agree, especially for defensive coordinators, defensive coaches. I agree. Yeah.
So. Anything else? I was definitely going to talk about the coaches too, Mike Smith.
Yeah.
In particular.
Yeah.
So, favorite moments. That's kind of the same as key takeaways.
Yeah. Damn. Redundancy. I don't understand why my tablet just shit out on us. I can't even pull up our profile anymore. Oh well.
It's all right. We're wrapping up the show, man. What are you worried about? Well, they showed some highlights, I guess, from next week about the Stars getting ready.
Getting ready.
For season.
Well, this is going to be like that brutal week too, because they go from 96 to 53 or something like that. 90 to 53. Do that
before. It's a bigger cut this year.
Yeah.
And it's all at once pretty much. Yeah. So they're just going to show next week's episode. The final episode.
It's gonna look like it's gonna be like the Red Wedding of Game of Thrones.
Talk about Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones doesn't have shit.
What's gonna happen? Season finale. Hard Knocks.
All these players that you've loved to grown to love.
Yeah. Even the ones you really don't give a shit. Suddenly you're gonna be like, oh my god, this guy's getting cut. This is real. This is real.
Yeah.
This is real.
That'd be funny. Like we come on next week and it's just like we're tearing up. We're all devastated. We'll put the Kleenex out, and then we'll have to start doing these post-game shows snuggies. For like the Bachelorette.
Wearing our snuggies, drinking our bottles of red wine.
No. I'm drinking some White Zim. I thought you were gonna give me a high five there. Come on.
No.
No
Snuggies and red
for White Zim.
All right, maybe some high five for White Zim. Only with Snuggies, though. Only with Snuggies. And the entire season of Sex and the City.
All right, so let's see if we got any comments on Facebook. Y'all think they'll cut Doug after his suspension? No.
That's ridiculous. They would have cut him last season. Like I said, they should have. But
no, they won't cut Doug. Unless he screws up again or something like that. Gets a DUI, which that happened last year to one of our players. They got cut.
Yeah.
Or did we trade him? I think we just cut him, right?
No, we cut him. He's in Buffalo now, I believe. Yeah.
And then Kenny says, I honestly think they talk about Game of Thrones because it's another HBO show promotion.
No shit. No shit.
Not to
be a dick about it, but obviously.
Yeah, that was the last 2 minutes of the show was they actually went to Gerald McCoy's house, it looked like, and I think it was Ayers.
Yeah, Robert Ayers, yeah.
And watched them watch Game of Thrones. So,
spoiler alert, by the way.
I'm surprised they haven't put any other shows in.
Yeah.
But that's probably the obvious one.
Well, it's because it's on right now, so it's the hot.
But it's over. Like, I was watching this 2 minutes. I have no idea what they're reacting to. No idea what they're talking about.
That's good because that was definitely some spoiler alerts. If you have seen it, it was
just in that segment.
I mean,
yeah. By just their reactions.
Yeah. Well.
Wow.
Well. If you know what's going on, at least because they said I knew he was going to die. If you're paying attention to the show, you know who they're talking to. But only in that season. Like, if you're behind by a season or two, it's not as big of a spoiler as you think it is. Or as I think it is. As I did. Because I just saw the season finale last night, actually. Me and Mrs. Stash watch it. Usually on Monday nights together. So, it was phenomenal, by the way. And I ain't mad at HBO for promoting that show. So, but I will say, as getting off topic a little bit here, R.R. Martin's alright, but I'm a Robert Jordan fan, and I can't wait till the end of Game of Thrones so the Wheel of Time series can start. And that's going to be
what
way
are we talking
better.
About? What happened?
Now, you just brought up Game of Thrones, and I got off on a tangent. What? Big surprise. Stash got on a tangent.
Well, what else from this episode? Let's see.
It rains a shitload in Florida, and I'm glad that they finally are getting an indoor practice facility so they don't have to practice in the rain 3 days out of the week.
No, they need to practice in the rain.
No.
Their preseason game was in the rain.
Right.
They need to practice in the rain.
Listen.
I think that's BS.
Listen.
And they...
Halfway, by the end of October, there's no more rain on game days, man. It's just, that's the end of the season. You've lived here long enough. You know how the rainy season goes here. It's preseason and maybe the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. And even then, with the way games are scheduled...
You're wrong. Yeah, you are. Because last season, 3 games in a row, I think.
In the beginning of the season.
Yeah. But
so they're going to practice outside. They don't have to practice outside when it rains. They will practice outside when it rains, but they're not forced to practice outside.
You got to practice outside.
So I'm saying, of course they do. They got to practice in the heat, too. But they don't need to practice 5 days a week in the heat. You know what I mean?
But they should.
They shouldn't, because they get drained all week and they got nothing left to go on Sunday.
I don't know. Write us a message. Let us know what you think about
I think the indoor practice facilities are amazing, and I can't wait for them to be completed. And I think it's going to be a huge advantage for the Bucs to not have to practice outside every day of the week. And they'll be able to get some AC when they're doing walkthroughs, when they're just doing, going over the playbook and new plays or film, that kind of stuff. That's when you need to be inside in the AC, because then you're able to concentrate on what you're being taught and what you're trying to learn. When you're outside practicing, that's when you got to have the pads on and go in full contact, because then you got to take what you learned from inside in the AC and apply it to the field when it's hot and you got your full pads on, you're hitting people.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
Jared says they need a snow machine. I like that idea.
Hey, I'm looking at it this way, man. With that kind of practice facility, hopefully they got some kind of simulation capabilities to simulate snow and ice and rain and shit. Right? That's the next level practice facility.
No,
we wouldn't talk about it. We wouldn't get into it.
I'm just thinking about our boys Freddie and the Fro.
Right? I wonder how they would react to that.
Well, because they were talking about on this channel,
on this very channel,
on this page, whatever you call this, they were talking about turning the Trop into an indoor
X Games arena experience. With something.
With a snow mountain at the top.
Yes, that's true. Okay, we're talking about creating a simulated ski experience inside the Trop.
So many more people would go to that.
Way more.
Than
if it was a fully interactive X Games place. I mean, those guys are kind of weird. I don't know if we're going to have them back. I don't know what we're going to do with those guys, but they definitely had a point about that.
I don't think they're coming back.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know if I can let them in there.
Well, every time we let them in, they take over the place. So
yeah,
we'll see. But they did have a good point about the Trop and making the appearance at X Games Hall of Fame. I don't know about that one.
Brilliant.
Making the new appear about X Games Hall of Fame,
but
the Trop. There's way better uses, and I think if you watch Shooter Stash, we agree how much we don't like the Trop. So
yeah, and you could have seen the Houston Astros there tonight.
Yeah, you're actually going to see some good baseball.
Oh man! Wow, this is taking a turn for the worse.
Nah,
ladies and gentlemen.
Just kidding.
Do you have any more Hard Knocks?
Other than on the Tampa Bay Rays?
Yeah, I think we're off topic, and it's just gone.
It's where we get the best. When we go on our tangents.
Maybe.
That being said, good notes, my friend. I was doing my major fantasy draft tonight during the show, so
yeah, and I think we have I think we have 1 or 2 spots left in our fantasy football league. It's free, but we're gonna have a prize. We don't know what the prize is yet. It's probably not going to be that great.
And it's going to be
really selling it here.
If you win, you get to bounce on the knee of the stash and tell me what you went for Christmas.
Yeah. So
and that's what the winner gets.
No, we're definitely not going
to. The loser gets a bounce on the knee of Shooter, and he gets to tell you what he wants for Christmas.
Yes. I'm in.
No, it'll be slightly worse than those. But it'll still be worth it in the end because you get to play fantasy football with us and a few of our buddies.
Yeah.
A few of our fans.
Yeah.
So
it'll be fun to beat the stash in fantasy football. I do it every year. It's a great feeling.
I don't know about that. But in fact, this is we never really play in major leagues together. Like our main leagues, we always have like one fringe league that we happen to both be in and not really give too much of a shit about.
Yeah. But this league... This
league
is
matters.
Going to be the real deal. There's going to be
animations.
This
is for bragging
rights.
Bragging rights.
Yeah.
And a dandelion on the knee.
Exactly.
A dandelion on the knee.
So we will post the link to that so you guys can join our Fantasy Football League.
2017!
That's all for tonight. Take us out home.
Signing out once again. We appreciate you filling in and joining in and tuning in with us on the Hard Knocks Post.